Help me preach this morning. Tell somebody it was prepared before I showed up. It was already in the plan even before I showed up to the table. So even though you think you're going to stop it, you can't stop, but God has already said so too. God is still providing. God is still sustaining. God is still elevating. And here is where your assignment becomes critical, because you cannot allow digital noise to disrupt divine provision. Because the danger is not what they are saying. The danger is you starting to respond to what they are saying and miss what God is doing. Can I be honest about something? I've been preaching for the last month. Month before, I was talking about no comment and all this kind of stuff. Can I be honest? Listen, I fell off the wagon. I fell off the wagon the other day. I fell off the wagon. Listen, confession is good for the soul. I fell off the wagon. I got in some comments. I had to comment about something the other day. And what I realized is that the comment I made, I should have never made. Was something wrong with the comment? No. The comment wasn't the problem. The problem was that I made it. Y'all better catch what I'm saying. The comment wasn't the problem. The comment is that I fed into and fell into a trap that I should have never fell into. Which simply means that if it happens to the pastor, it's going to happen in the pew. And see, this is why this is where the fruit of the Spirit is tested. That was my test, and I failed that test. I was being tested in real time because everything in your flesh wants to respond. Everything in your emotions want to defend. Everything in your humanity wants to correct the narrative. But the Spirit is telling us to sit down and let them watch. Stay in your place. Why? Because God is about to bless you in spaces where you were discussed. See, he's about to elevate you in environments where you were diminished. He's about to provide in a place where you were predicted to have your downfall. And the same platform that carried their opinion will become the evidence of God's provision in your life. So don't log off your purpose trying to log into their opinions. Look at somebody, say, stay focused. I said, look at your neighbor, say, stay focused. Don't you log off your purpose trying to log into their opinions. You need to stay focused, because what God has assigned and what he has on your life is far greater than what they can say. So first, your first assignment, watch this, is to let them watch. Point number two. We're going to get out on time. I just got to finish all this. Point number two, after you let them watch, you got to let them wonder. I wish y'all help me preach today. To destroy you, aren't you glad? That's premeditated grace. But hear me now. Here's where this becomes deeply relevant in our current cultural moment. Because the presence of enemies is no longer confined to physical spaces. See, when David wrote this, man of God, when David wrote this in his day, enemies were often across from you. They were visible. They were identifiable. They were tangible. Let me give you some examples, because David had enemies. He had a man by the name of Saul. Saul was the one who watched him and was jealous. He had an enemy by the name of Absalom. He was the one who worked against him in secret. He had an enemy by the name of Goliath. He was the one who confronted him openly. But in our time, you must understand that tables have literally expanded themselves. Platforms have evolved. And now many of the environments where your name is discussed, where narratives are formed, and where opposition is exist or expressed, they're not even natural. They're digital. Tables, family, are now digital. So some of your enemies are not sitting across from you. The reality is some of your enemies are sitting behind screens. Y'all ain't talking. I wish I had some help up in here. Some of your enemies are not sitting in front of you. They're sitting behind screens. Some are not speaking openly. They are typing covertly. Some are not identifiable by face. They are operating through aliases. And the reason for this alias demon in the world today is because it's rooted in cowardice. I can't get no help. I'm by myself. Look at somebody and say, don't be a coward. I can remember when I was a little bitty boy, whenever there was a fight that folks was about to have, they would put something on their shoulder and they would say, if you bad, knock it off my shoulder. You had to stand in front of somebody to fight. You had to stand in front of them. They would stand there and they would say, yo mama. They say, yo mama too. If you said something about my mama, I'm gonna hit you in your mouth. And they say, yo mama. Didn't say nothing about it, just said yo mama. And it would be an automatic fight because people fought in front of you because they weren't cowards. But we live in a day and a time now that folks are not showing their face. They're throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Why? Because they're cowards. And I've learned that it is easier to critique from concealment than to confront with integrity. It is easier to throw a stone and hide your hand. But here is the revelation that must anchor each and every one of us. Even if they hide, God sees. Look at somebody, say, you can't hide from God. That's why I got comfortable right there, baby, because I got excited just knowing that I may not hear it, but God always does. I may not see it, but God always does. And scripture declares in Hebrews chapter number 4 and verse number 13 that neither is there any creature that is not manifested in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do. Simply put, every moment, every post, every whispered conversation turned public narrative, every hidden agenda master behind an unnamed person username, God sees it all. And that's why you need to relax. Look at somebody, say, you better relax. Tell somebody, get comfortable. Because it don't matter if you heard it, God hears it. It doesn't matter if they said it to you or if they said it behind an alias. God sees them. You can't hide from God. He searches and he finds out. But can I tell you what really blesses me about this whole passage? I said, can I tell you what blesses me about this whole package? Not just that God sees. But what blesses me is that it doesn't stop him from preparing your table. See, some of y'all thinking that what they're doing is going to stop what God is doing for you. But God sent me by here to tell you that the reason why they can't stop it because it was prepared before any of y'all showed up. Look at somebody and tell them, say, it's been prepared before I got here. I wish you would talk to your neighbor. I need y'all to help me preach this morning. Tell somebody it was prepared before I showed up. It was already in the plan even before I showed up to the table. So even though you think you're going to stop it, you can't stop, but God has already said so too. to help me preach this morning. Tell somebody it was prepared before I showed up. It was already in the plan even before I showed up to the table. So even though you think you're going to stop it, you can't stop, but God has already said so too. God is still providing. God is still sustaining. God is still elevating. And here is where your assignment becomes critical, because you cannot allow digital noise to disrupt divine provision. Because the danger is not what they are saying. The danger is you starting to respond to what they are saying and miss what God is doing. Can I be honest about something? I've been preaching for the last month. Month before, I was talking about no comment and all this kind of stuff. Can I be honest? Listen, I fell off the wagon. I fell off the wagon the other day. I fell off the wagon. Listen, confession is good for the soul. I fell off the wagon. I got in some comments. I had to comment about something the other day. And what I realized is that the comment I made, I should have never made.